Hey folks, Greg again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you just landed here, hit like, hit subscribe. You'd be doing me a favor if you did that. I'd really appreciate it. I want to go over this gold and silver, and everybody thinks the people during the collapse that have the gold are going to become the kings. My question is, why aren't you a king right now? People that are waiting for a collapse to become a king or a queen or whatever you want to call them are going to probably be waiting for their whole life and end up in the grave. That's a very bad strategy in my opinion. Look, my whole point of the whole thing with the gold and silver is that some people are not going to be able to afford it. Obviously, you're going to need to have a little bit of extra income to be able to stockpile some gold. Your average person today, how much gold could they stockpile? Let's say 10,000, maybe 20,000 worth of gold. Let's even go beyond that, say $50,000 worth of gold, maybe even 100K worth of gold. So, and we have a collapse. Let's just use this as an illustrative example. Then we have this so-called collapse of the economy and the currency collapses. Now you got $100,000 worth of gold. How long is that gonna last you? How long is the collapse gonna last? What if it goes on for 5 years? Are you gonna be at the advantage if you have this stockpile of $50,000 or $100,000 worth of gold? How many people do you think right now, what percentage of the population do you think right now has $100,000 worth of gold, even $50,000 worth of gold? 0.5%? Maybe 10% of 1%? Something like that? Not very many people have gold. My whole point is, again, you'll be able to survive. The economy is based on goods and services. The whole advantage to having gold is a hedge against inflation. It doesn't lose value. It's true money. Jeremiah Babes right about that. He's right about that. It doesn't lose value. So the gold, no matter what age or what generation we're in, it's still going to have value. It never loses value. That's the benefit to gold. So it's a hedge against a bet against inflation. Are you going to get rich from it? I don't know anybody that has said that they got rich. If you want to get wealth, you have to get a performing asset. I'll use this as an illustrative example. What would you rather do? Open up a business or go buy a bunch of gold? If you have $100,000, $200,000, let's say right now in the bank, would you go buy $200,000 worth of gold? Or would you be, hey, what do I need to get, kind of business I need to get into to grow this thing, to start generating revenue? Now you have a performing asset. That's where you probably want to focus your attention. Now, it's going to be your decision whether you want to take the gold, buy a little bit, and then put some money into the business. I'll give Jeremiah Babe credit. You want to have some sort of skill, an available skill that you'll be able to use if this so-called collapse happens, but you should have that right now anyhow. Whatever you can do to generate yourself some income, you have a performing asset. So like, for example, I'm in a 2021 Ford Bronco. People like it. Oh, it looks cool. This is not a performing asset. This is a depreciating asset. What is it, $30,000? Buy one of these things? I don't know. I'm renting the thing off Turo. But I know next year it's only going to be worth 22. And the year after that, it'll be worth 18. And then 5 years from now, it'll probably be worth 13 or 12. That's a depreciating asset. An appreciating asset is only, you can do it in stocks and bonds and gold and silver, but your best opportunity is going to be opening a business, running a business that generates you revenue, whether that's passive or you're an owner-operator of the business and then you try to become absentee owner-operator. Now you got a performing asset that's generating you revenue and you don't have to be there. Things like that. That's what you want to do. I'm not saying it's a bad idea to go out and buy gold, but just ask yourself one question. One question. How many people do you really know that got wealthy buying and selling gold? Not many. Now, how many people do you know that got wealthy starting a business? Like, starting a business, granted, you might start one and it might fail, but at least you learn something. If you just sit there and buy a pile of gold, you're like, okay, here, I'm going to sit around and wait. I'm going to wait for this collapse. That's a bad strategy, man. Bad strategy. You should have skills. You should be looking at a business, whether it's online, a brick and mortar. You know, don't be stupid about it. Like, I wouldn't be opening a gym right now. You know, don't be looking at opening a gym, especially out in California and New York. That'd be pretty stupid, right? Okay, so think about these things. Be a little more careful about it. Get yourself a performing asset. That's the whole thing. So with gold, you're hedging, or silver, or any precious metals for that matter. I don't care what they are. You're hedging yourself against inflation, and they don't ever lose value. They never will. Gold will never go to zero. The currency, the United States currency, at one point will eventually go to zero. It has to. It's not backed by gold anymore. It's going to go to zero at some point. When will that happen? I don't know. 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now. I mean, the Roman Empire went on for pretty much, 700, 800 years, maybe even 1,000 years. Include the whole thing with the Western, Eastern Roman Empire. And I think Constantinople was the last to hold out for a while. I'm not really too sure about the Roman Empire, but they went on for a while. My personal opinion, I think that the United States currency is going to go on for probably at least another 100 years. I don't think there's going to be a currency collapse of the United States in my lifetime. If it is, it's probably going to be at the end of my life. I think there's going to be more of an issue with the population and the low birth rates more than anything. Think about that, folks. When it comes to gold or silver, if you are sitting around holding a bunch of gold and silver and you're waiting to be a king during the collapse, I think that's a bad strategy. Do I think it's a bad strategy to have some gold and silver? Nope. But you should be looking at other opportunities too. That's just, you're not going to find many people that are going to be wealthy off just gold and silver. I haven't met anybody that's put up their hand and said, yeah, I made all this money off gold and silver. Maybe during a gold rush like 150 years ago or 100 years ago, people did it. But you got to remember, you look at a gold rush situation back in California, and I even went up to Alaska. People made money off the gold rush. You know where most of the people made a lot of money? Were selling the products to the people that needed to go hunt for gold. They were the ones that made the money. They were the business people. So, food for thought, folks. Thanks for stopping by. If you made it all the way to the end, do me a favor. Hit like. Hit subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.